Okay, so let's get started. So I have an update. I changed the schedule uh based off how you guys were talking last time and some feedback from a couple others. Um, we're just gonna have a catch-up day today. Okay, so it's going to be you can use it however you want to do it. If you're already caught up, you can maybe ask questions or go review something, or you can go do something else with your life. If you're not caught up, we can go over the places you can just work on the stuff you're not caught up on, use this time to do that. Or if you and then if you have questions, you can ask me. I'll be here on the live. Um, so yeah, it's pretty much just, but I want you guys to stay here and work. So if you're not caught up, you can't leave. You have to stay and work on getting caught up. And so I've updated the schedule a little bit. Um, but basically just pushes everything out a day and pushes us into like a seventh week a little bit. That's when we'll do our test prep. Um, but yeah, I think just from what I'm hearing from everybody, it would be good to kind of just catch a breath and get caught up, give you some time. We'll still do this Friday. We'll do a happy hour, but we won't have any more homework. We'll still have a Q&A happy hour giveaway this Friday, but we won't have any homework until then. So from now until Friday, you can get caught up on any homework you have, and then this lesson we can yeah, like detention. Yeah. I should make you guys wear those like old dunce hats, or what are they called? Those really old and so where you sit in the corner and stare at the wall where you wear the detention hat. No. So yeah, I'm gonna be here, and if you guys say, "Hey, can you go over this?" or maybe I can go through a quiz, or maybe I'll just sit here and wait for you guys' questions, but just use this time to get caught up, and I'm here for your questions.
Hey Nick, I have a question about the quiz in what are called pre-rap.
Say that again.
I have a question in one of the quiz,
Okay.
the B-rap one.
The P. Sorry, I'm not understanding the last word you're saying. The
Called pirate.
Oh, pirate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your question?
There's one question I can't understand.
Okay.
It's the last one.
What does it say? This one
Prepare
here?
to figure. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so let me pull up the figures here. And it said figure 14. Okay. So it says if the train elevation is 1295, so 1,295 feet MSL, what is the height above ground level of the base of the ceiling? Okay. Height above ground level. All right, so this is the elevation of where you're at, and it's saying, all right, so basically it's saying if this pi rep is over the area that you're at, it's kind of assuming that, right? And you're using the base clouds as the clouds that are over you. So you could say, okay, what is the lowest ceiling? So broken or overcast are going to be ceilings, right? So this one right here, broken at 1,800 feet, that's going to be lowest ceiling. Now this is an MSL. These are in MSL. Okay. And then we have another one overcast 7,200, but that's higher up. So broken at 1,800 feet. And then we're sitting on the ground at 1,295 feet. So the difference between the two, 1,800 minus 1,295, would be the height above ground level of those clouds, those broken clouds, which is
Oh,
505.
I see. Oh,
505.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah. So Michael, yeah, you guys are in trouble. No. Basically today's going to be a catch-up day. So use it. Um, if you're not caught up, stay on the live and work through the lessons, and then you can mute us and then unmute us. If turn down the volumes while you work, and then if you have a question, come join and ask the question. I'll be here. So it's just a catch up day.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
I got a question actually in regards to the class airspaces.
Mhm.
The one that kept getting me tricked with each class was the questions, and I think it was like pretty much the same question in each class where it's like from this point, how do you determine the outer line of distance? I wish I had one in front of me in particular. Like I was having issues reading like on a question where it was saying like to the airport at like um I think it was like what height are you at?
Uh, do me a favor and find one
Find
of
one? Okay.
one of those, and then we'll pull it up
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
because I'm not 100% sure which one you're
Sure.
talking about.
Yeah, let me find one.
Cole says, can you cover the over the diagram airspaces again? Yeah, we can do that. Um, Teresa says, I want help on the floors and ceilings part of reading charts. I don't know how to exit and look at the quizzes at the same time. Exit and look at the quizzes at the same time. I wonder if it would work to use the.
Nick, I've got my paper charts, but I could leave the class. I've just got an iPad. I don't have the ability to open more than one window on it.
Oh, I
You know what
see.
I mean? So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know how
yeah.
to do it, but I could exit and go look for a question. That's fine. Or I could just explain what it is that trips me up.
Yeah,
It's
you can do that. So you don't have to leave the chat.
okay. Well, order of operations, when is my question up then? Or do you want to do somebody else's?
Let's see if Michael found his question and we'll do
Yeah,
his
that because I
first.
think it might be the same question actually.
Okay.
I'm still looking. I went into class C. I'm looking at the questions. That might be a few minutes.
I think he's talking about the like 4 nautical miles from like the center of the airport or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's pretty much what like I was getting on.
Do you know which lesson that's in?
I think it was like in each of the classes had a question or two, regardless of the class.
It's a class D. There's one question in class D.
Oh, this one right here?
No, that one's about airspeed limit.
Is it the lateral dimensions? That was the last.
Um, I found one in class C. It says refer to figure 280 below. What is the floor of the class C airspace at the Golette Airway intersection? Outlined in red. I can't see the map though on the quiz anymore, unless I kind of want
Okay.
to read the
So
quiz.
I think figure 280 was one of our own figures, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so let me pull that
I
up
think it
real
is.
quick. So let me pull that up.
It was in, oh, yeah, you're in class C. Okay, 280. I see it on the screen. It says number 7 for the question on your screen.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the this figure
Okay.
in the PDF. So just give me one moment.
So Nick, for the catch up, it's essentially trying to get the quizzes done for all of what it said is due on October 22nd. So Class G was essentially the last thing on the list. As long as we're kind of up to there by the end of today, we're at where we're supposed to be.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Makes me feel better.
Okay. All right. Come on, hurry up. Sheesh. Taking forever. All right. So figure 280. All right. Here we got a nice zoomed in view. So it says, what is the floor of the Class C airspace at the Golet or Gole? I don't know. Intersection outlined in red. So this guy right here. So right at this point, what is the floor of Class C airspace? So right here we have the Class C floor and ceiling is denoted by these fractions. So we have 40 over 15, 40 over 15, 40 over 15. Now, is what confused you these?
No, you know what it was? So I think it's just my fault. Then when looking at the question on the computer, it's not as clear as that. Um,
Oh,
so I think that's why I was running into issues. I didn't realize these were in the book. Um, I
so
guess.
these extra ones are unfortunately not in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like anything above, I think like 200 is figures we added. There's probably about 10 to 15 of them in the whole course. So
Okay.
fortunately those aren't in the books I sent you.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I just wasn't able to see it.
But there are this PDF, you can download this PDF either in the intro lessons. So if you go to your step one course or your bonus PDF download. So if you go to what you'll need, I think it's in what you'll need. So you can download that PDF. Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That helped me.
Hey, Nick, on this one that you have projected, what is
Mhm.
the big four and the little four? I would say at 4 o'clock
Right
with
here.
Santa Barbara. Yeah, right there. What is that?
So you see this whole grid, this latitude and
Yeah.
longitude grid. Each one is going to have a number, a big blue number like this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's in hundreds of feet. It's the tallest terrain.
Oh,
I think they add 100. They round to the nearest 100, and then they add. It's somewhere in the course. It's in our chart lesson, which we're gonna go in a couple weeks. We'll cover it. But yeah, it's basically an easy way to just like if you're flying through a bunch of grid lines, you can just easily be like, okay, if I fly at 5,000 feet, will I be will I be good? So you don't have to look at every individual little like, piece of terrain. You can just look at these
oh,
big,
I
big,
see.
big blue numbers really quickly.
Let's see. Thank you.
Yep. So, did you want to ask? It'd be your turn if you want to ask.
That's okay. What I'll do is well, I tell you what I think would make more sense for everyone else is I'll go get a quiz question and make sure. What I did on all these, I'm done. I'm caught up, but I just generally don't get them all right, and it seems like spuriously I missed them. So let me go see if I can figure out what I missed and
Okay,
see
yeah,
if I
yeah.
can
Take your time. We'll
score,
be here, and you can grab
and then I'll come back.
yeah, grab a few if you need to.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I think uh just seeing if I missed any. I think we're up to K now. K, you said you have a question on Class C.
Yeah, before we leave and go to that question, just looking at Golette, Can you tell us what the airspaces we will be flying through right in that area?
Yeah, so if you were to like go up from the surface,
Yeah.
yeah, so Galette is right kind of inside of this class Echo shaded magenta, right? And then it's also within this solid magenta class Charlie. So since it's inside this shaded class Echo, that means class Echo starts at 700 feet inside here, where Galette, we're going to say Galette's inside of there, right? It's inside the boundary edges, so we'll say it's there. And that's, again, if we're right where the word Galette is. So that means class Golf is below it from the surface to 700 feet or 699.9 feet, right? And then class Echo starts at 700 feet. And then class Echo would go up to 1,499.9 feet, right? Until you get to the class Charlie, which takes over and then goes from 1,500 feet to 4,000 feet. And then, which is, I think what you said, what you were getting at. And then after class Charlie, it would go back to class Echo, all the way up to 18,000 feet.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have a question for the Class C quiz if nobody else has questions on this figure.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's the question that says, which initial action should a pilot take prior to entering Class C airspace? So
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear all that. So my first question is, I mean, I got it wrong, so why? But also I don't understand why we would contact approach versus center versus tower. Like, what are the differences? Why do we, for this one specifically, I don't understand why we would want to contact approach when we're trying to enter the Class C airspace. To me, it would make sense to contact tower, but so I don't know why we would contact approach.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Doesn't approach fall under tower because it's like approach tower?
Yeah.
It's usually a different frequency and potentially even a different group of people, a different building, right?
It could be the same building, but yeah, it's usually a different person. That's a good question. I'm looking at this right now and not initially liking the answer options. I'm trying to think if I'm missing something though. Yeah, we haven't discussed this, so this is something we'll talk about in the communications lesson later. And it's not something that's tested a lot on your written exam. It's more, flight training stuff, but it's good to know.
I think the wording for this one, I mean, and I'm not trying to like gloat, I got it right, but it's just because you don't, and I get a lot of them wrong, so don't worry, is that you don't have to request permission to enter. So that really, for me, the only real answer was contact approach. I know it's not contact the FSS. So to me, that's kind of the way I looked at it was, I know it was some form of tower control, whatever you want to say, but I just knew you didn't have to request permission to enter Class C. So that was kind of the way I read it. If that helps, Kay. I mean, might not help, but
Yeah.
Thank you.
sometimes the wording on questions and answers, I'm not sure you're meaning to do this, Nick, but sometimes it can be a bit like when you're reading it, you're like, I'm very much like I can be very technical as well. I can overly read into what the question really is asking, but yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
In our notes in this really awesome book that you made, it does say each pilot must establish and maintain two-way radio communications with the control tower when departing, entering, or flying within a Class Charlie airspace. Is this specifically with the tail number? Or do they don't have to say cleared to enter, but do they
What?
just have to say your tail number? So it does say in the notes that you must establish and maintain two-way radio communication with the control tower.
Mhm.
But in this one, it's saying prior to entering that it wants you to do approach.
Yeah, so I'm looking, I'm leaning towards there's something should be added to one of these options to make it, because right now A and B are correct in my eyes. They're both correct. And it kind of depends on like, you know, what your flight plan is, who you're in contact with prior to getting to the class Charlie, and things like that. So I wonder if like it's missing a word that gives more context in that regard.
Do you have to get express permission to enter Class Charlie, especially if you've just left Class Charlie? You go, you fly, you come back, you
Uh,
leave that airspace.
if you've been, yeah, if you've like, yeah, if you've left and you've been cleared, uh, to change frequencies, yes, you need to get permission to enter class Charlie.
Oh, okay.
But if you're like, so if you have like flight following and, and then they pass you off to approach, you don't need, they talk to the tower and then they can give you permission to enter. So yeah, I think this is a question that needs some work, unfortunately. So good question. And let me take a note to look into this some more. Yeah, it's almost like one of these should just change to something else. But yeah, so sorry about that. So yeah, so just so everyone understands, like, yeah, you just have to have permission to enter, right? And so the tower has to be aware that you're entering their airspace for class Charlie. And you can do that by, let's say you're not already talking to ATC, so you contact the tower and request permission to enter. You can do that, which is option B. And then you could also contact approach as well. That's kind of, what they're for as well. So both of those are currently right. And a lot of times on FA questions, there's usually a more right one, but on this one, I can't find a little detail that makes A more right than B. So yeah. Darren doesn't feel like it's in the right place, this question. Yeah, I think it is. I think the idea is to make sure you know that you have to get permission to enter class Charlie. I think that's, if it was written correctly, I think it would fit in class Charlie. Did you guys hear that airplane? No? Oh, uh, uh, I live right by the approach path of San Diego International, and aircraft just did a go around, and whenever they do that, it's super loud.
Nice.
Because they go full engine like right by my apartment.
Cool.
All right, let's see here. All right, Nick says, question of a wins and loss. Okay, Nick, what's your question?
So on the quiz, there was two questions on there. Got them wrong. I had the right idea, and what we went over, it is, let's see, On the quiz, the question says, refer to the figure and what direction of velocity does this wind flag indicate? So the I selected west, southwest. It's question
Which figure is it?
figure 274.
Okay, so it's this one right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and your question is,
So I got it exactly opposite because it was my answer was based on the direction and velocity of the wind, but the correct answer is the direction it's coming from.
mhm.
So if it is, so here we have it coming from the northeast, but the direction of the wind is west southwest, correct?
Yeah, but we as pilots always want to know where the wind is coming from.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of
Yeah.
you kind of have
To
to
me, I
just
think it was just
assume
the way it
that.
was worded a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kind
Yeah.
of reading that, it just
Because did you get these other ones?
I got the next one wrong as well
Okay,
for
yeah.
the same reason.
Right.
It's just
Sorry,
the
can
exact
you show the
opposite.
flag
Yeah, do
so
you
we can see
see
what you're talking about? No, I don't see it.
you don't see
See it.
this over here on the right? Oh,
On
it
the
might. Can you guys see the figure blown up here on the right side of my
I
screen?
can see
I
it.
can.
Yeah. I think maybe if you're on a small screen to a big screen, it might not show for people that are on just like a single small screen. Maybe.
I'm on a small screen and I can see it. So that's so interesting.
I don't know
Okay.
shit.
So I can blow. Can you see it now?
No, I just see your wonderful faces when you talk.
Move your thing over. You probably have two screens. Okay.
Yeah, that was what I was struggling with first day on Zoom was trying to
Faces
get.
definitely not.
Okay, you have to click on his icon and then hit view shared content.
So sorry, where is that?
Let me.
There's a little
Pinned.
Yeah, there's a little pin. Like if you only see Nick's face, like click on his preview so you only see his face on your screen. Are you on a laptop or an iPad?
I'm on a laptop.
Yeah, so then you should see like little pins in the top left that'll say view shared content. Like they're really easy to miss. I did it one time by accident and I was stuck looking at them for like 20 minutes until I figured it out.
Darn it, I don't see it. It's okay. I'm
Just-
so sorry, guys. I have no idea. Darn
You can
it.
just leave and join back real quick.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
leave and join back.
Okay, I'll do that.
So
Frickin'
yeah, I think it
Zoom.
was just an issue with reading the way I read the question.
Oh yeah. I can see that. But yeah, we'll always ask whenever we want wind direction, it's going to be where it's coming from.
Yes, what direction velocity does the wind flag indicate? Okay, so where's it coming from? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so like on figure 275 that you're showing, Nick, that is a westerly wind direction.
Yep, wind from the west.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I really had on that.
Okay, so sorry. So the flag you've circled.
Yep.
It's coming from the west.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay. I was looking at the answer for the other one. Okay.
yeah. We're on this one now, sorry. Yep, yeah, so it's the flag part, right? The little things coming off is pointed towards the west, so it's coming from the west. And then this was the one before we were looking at. This one is from east northeast, right? Mostly east, but also a little bit up towards the northeast.
What does east northeast mean? Why wouldn't it just be northeast? What makes that east northeast?
So it's a way to get even more specific, right? So northeast would be what exactly 045 degrees. This is not quite 045. It's actually a little bit, it's between 045 and 090. It's like 070. So it's, you always do east first, the one it's more towards. So you say east northeast means it's between east and northeast. If you were to say like north northeast, it would be like, between north and northeast. Does that make sense? Kay doesn't play Call of Duty.
Yeah, you got to be calling them snipers out to the exact spot, you know?
Yeah, I don't play Call of Duty either. And I think these flags are upside. I think they're backwards. I have trouble with this too, because I imagine the wind blowing it that way. So to me, it's inverse. So I'll just memorize. I just have to memorize it.
Yeah, I remember being confused too, and like I said this on last week or Monday. One thing that helped me is I like to think of someone upwind, like right. This one, the wind is coming from the northeast, right? Shooting an arrow, and this kind of looks like an arrow, right?
Oh, that's helpful.
And
Thank
so
you.
it's
I
like,
must have missed that last time.
so
It's
the
kind of,
arrow is going this way,
yeah.
and that's the direction the wind is flowing.
Thank you.
With this photo, you see how there's a bunch of arrows super close to each other? It kind of looks like a circle. It looks
Mhm.
like it's rotating counterclockwise. Is that low pressure? Because the wind is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think
Look at her be all like integrated in her knowledge. Look at her.
that's
I've been
You
next.
doing
go,
this for a
Kay.
while.
That's
You
next.
go,
Next,
Kay.
next level, right there.
That's next level for sure. Unlike me, who goes, that's one way the pressure is. Now, what is that? I think it's low. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, good job.
Yeah, good job. That's good. Flight following is, so basically you can submit a flight plan and you can have basically ATC get radar contact with you, and they'll kind of keep an eye on you as you go through, and they'll help pass you along from airspace to airspace as you go through your flight. That's flight following. They kind of follow along on your flight. So as like a general aviation, you can do that. Or you can just kind of go on your own, but every time you enter an airspace, you're gonna have to get, that requires permission, like class Bravo, Charlie, Delta. You'll have to ask them before you enter. So a lot of people are kind of scared to do the flight following because you got to get a flight plan, you got to talk to them, but it actually makes things way, way easier. And I recommend doing it from the start of your training, if you can, because then you got to remember when to contact, the airspace you're going into, and they can help you out with traffic, and it's just better, in my opinion.
Thanks.
Yep. Michael says, question similar to my one before on class G, refer to figure 2A. Okay, let me pull that up. It's class golf.
I just keep having a hard time with those.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's see here.
I do too. I keep not leaving the class and just loving you guys' questions.
That's good. We all have the same ones. All right. So
Whoever came up with baby brain last time, that was very helpful on the quizzes. That's how I remember Miss now is baby brain.
Same.
I like
Oh, yeah,
that.
it's super.
Without the baby rain, I probably, yeah, for sure.
Oh, you know what we should do for the next giveaway? We should have a mnemonic contest. Who can come up with the best mnemonic for something? I'm gonna think of something that we don't have a mnemonic device for. Okay, so is it the number one, Michael, or the number two, or all of them?
It's really all of them, but the one in particular that I got wrong on that quiz was which one did I just mention?
Number two.
Number 2.
Okay. So yeah, basically
It's
on
just getting
each
me
of the,
tied up for some reason.
yeah, no worries. In red, what altitude does class G airspace exist? Okay. So class G is wherever class Bravo, Charlie, Alpha, Delta, Echo, do all the other ones where they do not exist. And that is usually only under class Echo, right? Um, it because class alpha is kind of over everything, and so yeah, it's under class echo. So we just want to know first, we want to figure out for each of these, where does class echo start? So for number one, we're inside this dashed magenta. So Michael, what does the dashed magenta tell us? You there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on
Oh,
mute.
oh, you're good.
Um, Forgot which one that was off the top of my head.
Right. So this guy that I'm kind of outlining. So that is class echo. The dash magenta means if you're inside that, it's class echo to the surface.
Okay.
So
Oh
for,
yeah. Okay, now I just remember with the diagram. Okay.
yeah. So for number one, class G does not exist. Right?
Because it goes to the surface. Is that why it does not exist?
Yep, because class
Is that
echo goes
correct?
all the way to the surface. Yep. And class G is going to be below class echo, but if it goes to the surface, then it's impossible.
Then no.
Oh,
Right.
okay. I got it now.
Yep. And then for the two,
Sorry, really quick with number one, what's the ceiling for that?
the ceiling
17.
for
Number one.
what for class echo?
Sorry, yeah, for the number one, you have that area. It's inside the
Mhm.
dashed magenta. So surface class echo, what's the ceiling?
It would be 18,000.
Yeah.
Yep. Because there's no other airspace that we see here, so it goes all the way up to 18,000. So number two is outside the dash magenta, but it's inside this shaded magenta. So where does class echo start inside a shaded magenta, but not inside class echo? Also remember how those I can pull that up, but remember the design, the 3D kind of design of airspace and how they step down towards the airport, right? I'll pull that picture up so you can get a visual, but that can kind of help you remember that stuff. But Michael, do you have a idea where class cycle starts at number two?
No. Oh wait, isn't it from the outside of the solid?
Yeah. So inside the lighter side, so on the lighter side, so where number two is, right? Or
Yeah.
inside this shade of magenta, class cycle starts at 700 feet AGL.
Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah.
So if at number two class cycle starts at 700 feet AGL, then where does class Gulf exist for number two?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. So class Gulf is where class Echo does not exist. So at number two, class Echo starts at 700 feet above the ground. So that means class Gulf is below that. From everything from the surface all the way up to just below
Just
700 feet.
699.
Yeah, 699.999 is going to be your
Okay.
class Gulf.
Oh, okay. I see.
And then class Echo would start at 700, it would go all the way up to 18,000, and then class Alpha would start up after that. So again, class Golf, just remember, is always underneath class Echo.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
So number one, it doesn't exist because class Echo goes to the surface, so
To
it's
the surface.
impossible. Number two is in an area where class Echo starts at 700.
So it's 699.
So class Golf is between the surface, and 699.
Okay.
Number three is outside of the shaded magenta. So that's where class Echo starts at 1,200 feet AGL. So
Okay.
where does class Golf start for number three? Or where does it exist for number three?
Is that one surface to 1199?
Yep. You got it.
Can you say that again, Nick? Kind of real slow for kindergarten.
Sure. Let me pull up this guy here. All right. So we're looking at, I mean, not quite the same. Let me get rid of this annotation thing. Okay. Not quite the same because there's no class echo to the surface, but let's just go with it. So here, oops, we have this shaded magenta that's surrounding this airport. And so inside the shaded magenta, we have class echo that starts at 700 feet. Outside the shaded magenta, we have class echo start at 1200 feet, AGL. Class Golf exists where class echo does not, which is basically just under class echo. So inside this area, if you can see, there's kind of a line that shows like connects the 3D view of this 2D chart view. So inside this circle with the shaded magenta, where inside that class echo starts at 700 feet. That's what we see right here. Underneath that, class Golf can exist from the surface all the way up to that 700 foot. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then outside of this dashed black line, we have class echo starting a little bit higher at 1200 feet AGL. So class Golf goes up a little bit higher, all the way up to, 1199.999, all the way up until 1200 feet there. So it just fills the void of where class echo is not. So in this one, which is similar to the example that Michael was just talking about, we had this dashed magenta area inside of the shaded magenta circle, which brought our class echo all the way down to the surface. So if I were to add that green,
Yeah.
stuff where class Golf, let me see if I can get green here. So class Golf is all here, under here, but it can't be under this part because class echo is to the surface in that part, but it can be just under here. So like right in between these two, right up here, this area, class Golf goes from the surface to 700 feet. Outside of that to 1200 feet. But inside this dash magenta, class echo goes to the surface, so class G cannot exist there. Does that make sense? Maybe I need a new way to explain it.
No, I think it makes sense. I'm having a little panic about my ability I can memorize things like this, but then I'm a little panicked about actually being able to use it, but maybe.
I think that's normal. I think that's normal. Just
Okay.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Okay. And use flag following
Yes.
so you don't mess up.
Yeah, exactly. See here. Cole, you have a question on figure 25. I believe you would be the next question.
Yeah. Number 2 on figure 25. The question was asking where the floor was. I could not find it for the life of me.
Was this the question about the Hicks airport, Cole?
So this is in, do you know which lesson this is in?
Class B quiz.
Class B. Okay. Let me
In figure 25, the floor of the Class B airspace at Park Dallas Airport. It's number 2 on figure 25. It's just asking where the floor is.
Air Park Dallas, the floor of Class B airspace at Air Park Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to find Air Park Dallas. This is I was telling you guys about this. This is the hardest chart you you're gonna have to deal with on the quiz because there's so much going on. And if you can see, there's even like, dotted lines to show like that this is talking about this VOR DME, and there's just so much going on. There's right that's hard. So let's find Air Park Dallas first. So we have number 2. All right, let me pull up. Can you guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I should make it a little like bigger, but so there's this one right next to it, this little airport here. That could be Air Park Dallas. And then we see, okay, Air Park Dallas. So that's so first off, you want to look for the name, right? You want to look for
Oh
the
my God, I was looking at Dallas Love the whole time.
Yeah, so that's why you want to look at the name first, right? You want to find Air Park Dallas name first, and because it'll help you to see, okay, this is magenta, so the airport symbol is going to be magenta. Okay, which means it's uncontrolled, doesn't have a tower when it's magenta. And so Dallas Love down here is blue. So if the question was asking about Dallas Love, you would find the words Dallas Love and then say, okay, it's a controlled. That kind of helps you, right? It gives you a clue that you're looking for a blue symbol, airport symbol.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Air Park Dallas here. We're looking for the nearest magenta airport symbol. So that would be this guy here. And then so the question was, where's the floor of class Bravo airspace? So now we want to look for, okay, what section of this solid blue are we in? So it's got this squiggly line, which is probably over a river or a road or something. That divides it, and then we got this. So it looks like anything in here, if we see a floor or ceiling, okay, there's this one. So yeah, this fits. So our airport is in the same area as this fraction, 110/30. So the answer should be the floor is R30, which is 3,000, which is correct. 3,000 feet MSL.
I also had trouble with on the same diagram, number 4,
Okay.
finding the floor of that one as well, because
Yeah,
it's just
that was
so much
my
going on.
that was my question. I think the Hicks
Yeah.
Airport one, because you have to go and I mean, obviously now that I've done the answer, you have to go all. I mean, you probably can't see my stuff because it's blurred, but you have to go up and all the way around, and it's right where the number 7 is, I think, unless Nick tells me otherwise. But you can barely even read that. You can't see the first number. So my question to you, Nick, was: is that where that number 7 is? That red 7? Can't really read the 110. I know you don't need to see the first one, but
So
is that like a common thing?
let's go
I mean,
through
I
it.
get this is for the purpose of the okay.
Yeah, let's go through it. So it's this question, right? The floor of Class Bravo airspace overlying Hicks Airport, T67, northwest of Fort Worth Meacham Field. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's find Hicks Airport, which is T67 northwest of Fort Worth Meacham. Okay, so and it's near number 4. Okay, so we got Hicks here. Fort Worth Meacham is here. So that fits. This Hicks fit northwest. That fits here. This is again magenta. Hicks is magenta. T67. That fits. This is the closest circle. It's by the 4. Closest airport symbol. This has got to be our guy, right? Okay, so we feel good about that. This is the airport we want. Now, what is the floor of class Bravo? All right, so yeah, gets kind of hard because we got to look for a fraction somewhere in the same section of these solid blue lines. So we can the section starts down here, right? This closes off the section, and right here you see a 110/40. Did you see that, Sam?
Oh, I thought on the answer it was suggesting it's the same answer, but it's that 110/40 by number 7 over there.
I mean,
That's why I
it
thought. I mean,
could be because it looks like the section goes
yeah, it
through
does. It
here
does look like it goes all the way around.
and
Yeah.
goes all the way around. Yeah.
Oh, so it
To
is.
here.
Okay, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was tough. I didn't get it right.
Yeah, this figure is tough. It lends itself to a lot of mistakes because there's just so much
Well, that's the whole point
going
of it
on.
being on there, I guess.
Yeah. I will be attempting to make everything a swear word, like the mnemonic devices. Hey, I always feel like those ones are easier to remember, so I'm down. Not creative. You guys are creative. Come on, give yourself some credit. Let's see here, catching up on the chat. Why no F?
Canadian, apparently. I googled it. K was right. It's a different country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, airspace. Apparently, the Canadians have the rights to it or something. I don't know. Not the rights, but you know what I mean. Like they coined it.
Interesting. Damn Canadians.
I
Just kidding.
knew that was coming from somebody.
All right, I think I'm caught up. Did I miss anybody's question in the chat? Let me know if I did. Let's do some more. If no one has a question, let's do another. Let me come up with a question here for more practice on this figure because um it's a tough one. So let me see here. What is the floor of class Delta airspace? Or sorry, the ceiling of class Delta airspace at Grand Prairie GPM Airport. You married one. Yeah, we love the Canadians. I'm just kidding.
What about the Toronto? Is it Blue Jays? Do you like those
Well,
ones?
no, we don't like those ones. We hate them.
Hey, were you three? Were you three up, or did I miss? You were never
Two.
three up.
Just
Two up.
two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would be
It
epically.
wasn't that bad, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Hassam says 1999 as the ceiling for class Delta at Grand Prairie. Anybody else got a guess? Okay. So Grand Prairie is, let me get some color here. Grand Prairie is right here. So it's this airport symbol right here. And it looks like it's got a Delta airspace that's about this shape. And then what? And then it's got the ceiling denoted by in this box right here with -20. So hundreds of feet MSL. So that would be 2000. But it has a minus sign. So that means it's not inclusive of 2000. So it'd be 1999 9. So
Assam for the win.
yeah. And then above that, so after at 2,000 feet, what do you guys think? What is the next kind of airspace floor and ceiling above 2,000 feet? So you guys are saying 3,000, but what airspace? So I need more detail. Are you saying 3,000 is the next floor or the next ceiling? And what is it? What airspace is it? So you guys are saying, okay, it's the next floor of class Bravo. I would agree with that. So what does that mean? So between 2,000 feet and 2,999.999 feet, what is the airspace above Grand Prairie? Yeah, class Echo. So there's a little corridor of class Echo if you wanted to fly and not talk to ATC, you could do that through that area. I probably wouldn't advise it though. There's a lot going on. Antisocial, yeah. Cool.
Hey Nick, do you have any example for class G, like when it's dashed, when it's magenta blue?
Any like figures of class G?
Yeah,
Um, well, so class G isn't marked on charts.
but you said sometimes it's like magenta blue.
Oh, you mean blue, like shaded blue?
Should it? Yeah,
Yeah, so there are sometimes, so it's usually not marked, it's just where the other airspaces don't exist. But there are some times when it goes up to 14,500, and that is when it would be a shaded blue. So like you see these shaded magentas that are class Echo, it would look just like that, but it would be dark blue. And that is class G when it's not just its normal underneath class Echo. I think there's one in like Arizona area. Oh, here's one. See that? So inside this, class G goes from the surface to 14,499 feet, and then class Echo starts at 14,500 feet. I'm not sure why, so don't ask why this area has that. They must want some sort of rules, um, because they don't want it completely uncontrolled in this area for some reason. Maybe it has something to do with the military operations area, the MOA. Not sure.
thank you though.
Yep. Can you do one more on that one figure? Yes, okay.
Or the one you're on is okay. I just need practice on the floors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just stick with this guy here. All right, let's say, how about here? We'll go to, all right, what is, this looks like the Phoenix area. Let's say Chandler Municipal. What is the floor and ceiling at Chandler Municipal? Which is going to be in the southwest area of this chart, of this screen. But Chandler Municipal, what is the floor and ceiling of class Delta?
Can you hover your mouse around it? I don't see it.
Yeah, so down here in Chandler Muni.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, Chandler Muni, what's the floor and ceiling of class Delta?
Is that surface up to, but not including 3,000?
Yes. So let's see, class D to 2999. 299 is going to be the ceiling. The floor is the surface. Class D always starts at the surface. So it's only the ceiling that is shown. That's why there's no fraction for class Delta. It's just the one number in this block thing. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, how about Phoenix Goodyear GYR? What are the airspaces from the surface to 18,000 feet? So Phoenix Goodyear is over here. This airport right here. Okay. I kind of asked for a lot, so I'll give you guys some time. I tried to do something with my mouse. I don't think it's working. Gosh dang it. Tried to get it to be highlighted. Okay. So let's see what you guys got. You got Class D from 0 to 399, Class Bravo 4,000 to 9,000, and then Class Echo above it to 18,000. And then we got Surface, I think. But K says Surface to 2,999, and then E to 3,999, then Bravo 4,000. Okay. So, all right, it's inside of Class Delta. So that means that the surface is going to be Delta, right? Delta starts at the surface. Here is this little block. It says minus 30. That means it goes up to not 30, but just below it. So 2,999. And then we're also inside class Bravo. So we got to look at, okay, where is, we're inside this little area, and luckily the little symbol, the fraction, is right next to us. So it looks like class Bravo starts at 4,000, but that means there's, from 3,000 to just below 4,000 is class Echo. So we have class D from surface to 2,999. Then we have class Echo from 3,000 to 3,999. And then we have class Bravo from 4,000 to 9,000, which is the top of this fraction. And then we would have 9,001 to 18,000 would be class Echo. So good job. I think a couple of you guys got that. A couple missed the class Echo in between there. Huh.
So all that goes to G when the tower closes.
So here in class Delta, can you guys see my mouse better? I made it pink. Still messing with it. But yeah, so depends on where you're at, obviously, but like if you're sitting, you want to take off from Goodyear, you'd be in class Delta, and if it has a tower that is not 24/7, then it closes for the night, then it would go to class Echo uh between the surface and whatever it says minus 3,000 or 30. So it'll go from class Echo all the way up to the class Bravo here, right? So there was Echo from just 3,000 to 3,999, but that class Echo would go all the way to the surface here if this tower closed.
Would that airport be an example of a satellite airport?
Yes. Yeah. So satellite airport is like an airport that kind of lies within or under another larger airspace. So like in this big class Bravo. Um, I so yeah, you have a lot of satellite airports. So these control towers are going to be working with, the control tower of Phoenix International a lot, for traffic coming in and out.
If we're flying into, looks like Pegasus Air Park, it's on the bottom right-ish. It's uncontrolled. Are we actually talking to tower at Mesa Gateway? Or is it approach?
So here's
Yeah.
Pegasus Air Park. And where's Mesa? Oh, Mesa Gateway's here. Yeah. So we're outside Mesa Gateway. Um we're below class Bravo here, right? It's at 7,000 feet. So as long as if we were to just stay, right above Pegasus Air Park, You technically wouldn't have to talk to anybody. But
For safety, would you want to listen to any frequencies there?
yeah, I would probably definitely tune into Mesa Gateway. Just looking at the orientation of the runways, you probably have, incoming traffic or exiting traffic here. But also you're going to be on, so whenever we have an uncontrolled, we want to be on the common traffic advisory frequency. So you'd want to be on the common traffic advisory frequency, telling everybody what you're doing, listening for anyone else. And then, yeah, I'd probably also be listening to Mesa Gateway. And, it could be just common that, that they teach, and it's common knowledge that you just call up Mesa Gateway. Because of the proximity to the airspace, I'm not sure. But you wouldn't have to technically, right? But I would definitely listen for traffic on that and the common traffic advisory frequency. And then depending on, which way you're gonna leave if you're taking off or which way you're coming in, that also has consideration to what you would want to be listening to.
Would you have both comm radios, two different frequencies, one listening to Mesa and then one actually able to, I forgot the word, to the CTAF?
Yeah, the CTAP. Yeah. Yep. So you could have both listening, and then you could just transmit on the CTAF, but you could be listening to both the CTAF if anybody talks on the CTAF as well as Mesa Gateway. But also another good situation for, it depends on what you're doing. If you're just flying in the pattern at Pegasus Air Park, you're probably okay. You can probably just stay on the CTAF for Pegasus Air Park and focus on that. Because traffic for Mesa Gateway, if you're just in the traffic at 1,000 feet above ground level at Pegasus Air Park, you're probably not going to be in the way of any landing or departing traffic for Mesa Gateway, so you can be fine. But if you're leaving or entering, if it were me, I would just do flight following for my flight plan, leaving or entering, and then they can just tell you where to go. But if you didn't do flight following, then I would definitely, listen in on Mesa Gateway.
Okay. Have you ever flown at this San Bernardino? I think it was the San Bernardino airport. I had a near miss over there.
No, I haven't. Oh, you had a near miss?
Yeah, there's two airports. One of them's controlled, and then the other one's not. I think it was San Bernardino. I was flying into that one. And then somebody was taking off from the other airport and we almost hit because I was looking to my left to land on the runway and he was coming at the right. So I saw like the belly of his aircraft.
Oh man.
I didn't hear anybody. Even the controller didn't say anything to me.
Wow. Yeah.
So Nick, what's the best class for a student pilot to fly?
Best airspace?
Yeah, if I'm picking up like a school.
Yeah, so I mean there's pros and cons of both, right? For example, you could like come here, let's say you're in this Phoenix area, you could come train at like Pegasus Air Park or, down here at AK Chin Regional. Is that what that says? Or something out here where it's like, a lot less traffic and you could just, do your pattern work and then come out here, do like, some maneuvers and stuff like that. And you're not going to be getting into class Bravo, and you can do your cross countries and just not really deal with the class Bravo or class Charlie or class Delta. That makes it easier, but once you get to the point where you got to learn, because at some point in your training, you're going to have to fly to places with control towers to get that requirements. It's going to be more of a shock. So you usually find students that they kind of grow up inside the airspace, like they go to a school that has a busy airspace. They're in a class Charlie or a class Delta. They're usually better at communicating on the radio from the get-go because they're forced into that. They're forced into looking for more traffic. So there's kind of like a give and take, right? Out here you can get kind of like, what's the word? Complacent maybe about looking for traffic. If you're I mean, I don't know this particular regional, but I'm just assuming is, it's more rural and less traffic and things like that. It could be very trafficked. I don't know. But let's just assume it's you can get a little complacent. You can like not looking for traffic, not listening to CTAF, not saying what you're doing on the CTAF at every point. So there's definitely that, that's a problem with pilots, is getting complacent. So something like, learning to fly inside a busy airspace can, from the get-go, you got to be on top of that. But then also there is more traffic. So there's more delays getting in and out of airspace, getting down to land. There's more danger when there's traffic. So there's pros and cons of each. So I like to tell people, if there's a possibility, if you have the ability to choose, try and find something that's kind of a combination of both, like Mesa Gateway would be probably a good example. It looks like it's again, I don't know anything about this airport, but it's close to class Bravo. You're in this mode C ADSB, so you got to have that equipment and kind of deal with that. It's in a class Delta, but it's also kind of looks like out here for far enough where maybe it's not super crazy. You're not flying with super large jets, or maybe Chandler because it looks a little bit smaller. I don't know, but maybe just kind of like Goldilocks and the three bears, like not too hot, not too cold, but just right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of the Class E wrapping around this whole airspace?
Probably just to. So the shape of these, they again, the shape of these is they think about, aircraft coming in, and taking off. Kind of the common routes is how they come up with these spaces, as well as like terrain and things like that. I imagine over here it's got something to do with this alert area. As you can see, it kind of follows this alert area. Student jet training. Um, so again, usually when you see class Echo, it means they want some sort of jurisdiction over that. They want some sort of rules. They don't want just lawless, uncontrolled flying. So it's probably just because this is common training routes for, you know, schools and things coming out of here, that they want to keep that kind of controlled. And where there's more traffic, they want more rules. So as you get closer and closer, you get more and more traffic, and you get more and more airspace, right? It goes to class Delta and Bravo and things like that. Um, that's the best I can explain it. Why it's the specific shape and everything. Um, like when you get over here, it's this shape because for Casa Grande Muni right here, for the airport for the traffic coming in and out, that's why you have this little nodule here of Class Echo. Yeah. Do the AG guys have to follow the same rules flying in certain airspace, or do they just send it? AG? What are the AG guys? Agriculture guys, like crop dusters? Is that what you mean? Um, yeah, they have to follow the same rules, but I mean, usually a lot of crop dusters are flying in uncontrolled airspace. They're flying close to the surface, so it's usually under 1,200 feet AGL, so it's in class Gulf. Um, so if you're out like, I don't know, where they do agriculture. Yeah, I don't know where this is, but yeah, they would be in uncontrolled. So but they still have to follow the same rules. So they still have to follow, there's still minimum altitude requirements that they have to follow. Um, which I don't think we've covered that lesson yet, but basically there's an overarching, no matter where you are, you have to be able to land safely without undue harm to persons or property. So they still have to follow that rule, even though they're in uncontrolled airspace and things like that.
I have a question for special use airspace.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, even with restricted areas, prohibited areas, if there is an emergency, can we still land? Can we disregard the FARs and try to land safely?
Yeah, I want to be careful. So usually in an emergency, you're going to declare the emergency on the radio, and you'd be taught, so there's two situations. One situation, you're talking to somebody, and so therefore they would know, like, yeah, just use the airport in the, you know, special use airspace. Um, in the situation where you're not talking to somebody and you're flying somewhere, and I think it would be, it's kind of like a legal thing. Like if you can prove that you had, like if you were to emergency land inside a restricted area that was active, and therefore general aviation is restricted, and you almost made a military aircraft crash, there's going to be, some legal investigation, and you better have a really good reason for doing that emergency landing. Um, so that's what I would say to that. I think, um, you know, there's the FAR says, with ATC, again, that situation is when you're not talking to ATC, but there's a FAR with ATC when you're talking to ATC, and if there's an emergency, that you can basically, and I think this would go the same as, you're not talking to ATC, but it's a federal regulation to not go in the special use airspace. But it says, like, if there's an emergency, you can act how you need to in order to meet that emergency safely and keep yourself safe. However, you may be asked to submit a report and an investigation. Um, so I think that would go in line. So like if you're, for example, if you're flying and in a pattern, right, in class Delta, and ATC says, hey, continue on downwind for another mile. You're number 2 for landing or whatever. And you see like a giant flock of birds just flies right in your path. And so you have to, like, literally just, you're not going to fly into the flock of birds. You're going to keep yourself safe. So you've broken what ATC told you to do, which you're not supposed to do unless you do it to the extent necessary to meet an emergency. But then you're going to have to explain yourself. So in that situation, you could be like, hey, there's a flock of birds. I had to get out of the way. I'm back now. And ATC would be like, they probably saw the flock of birds from the tower, and they're probably like, cool. But if they didn't see the flock of birds and they're like, what the hell is this person doing? They're causing problems. They might ask you to submit a report. And I would think it would be the same thing if, like, you're not talking to ATC and you're somewhere near a restricted area and you had to go and land there. It probably is going to be the same thing. They're going to see, okay, well, why did you do that? And if it was a legit emergency, I imagine it would be okay.
Hey Nick, can we check a few airports on the sky vector?
Yeah.
It's a KCGS.
KCGS.
Yes.
This in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Okay.
And just go over like the airspace because there is a BWO big airport, so there is a Bravo airspace nearby, and also it's a DCRA airspace.
Yeah, so this is a complex one. You got the
I'm training nearby, so yeah.
okay. Yeah, you got this big blue thing because obviously the national security um SFRA um and then you got all these prohibited areas and warning areas and all sorts of stuff going on. So what particular airport are you um
There is a college park on the east where your mouse is kind of, and then there is a Montgomery County guy on the north from the DC.
College Park? Uh do you see it?
Yes, it's very close to DC. It's like inside the DC.
Where is it in relation to my mouse?
Uh,
Oh, right here, College Park.
yep. And one northwest from there is Montgomery County Airport.
Okay. So you want to know just
Just
what?
pretty much go over like the airspace what we talk. So like kind of go over and explain what is what, where it starts, kind of just to better understand it.
Okay. So first off, we're in a special use airspace. These blue, this line with these blue, like I don't know what to call these, but these side things, right, on the blue, all the way around here, and that again is because it's the like capital, and so I don't know the details of that, but I imagine there's certain times, and it's mostly for you just kind
Well,
of
so
got
we have to file a flight plan. You have to call and have yourself like register in your aircraft as well. Every time you fly, you gotta file a flight plan with them, like where you go and which gate you're gonna use. It's like there are four gates out of this area, and you just if you exit in the area, you just have to tell them.
okay.
Uh, but they very strict like stay outside the Bravo.
Okay, cool. So, so yeah, you have Bravo in here. It looks like outside of this area, it starts at 2,500. Inside, I'm trying to look at it looks like 1,500 is for this area. Yeah, 1,500. For the area directly above College Park. So that's 1,500 MSL. So it's pretty low, right? So you got to stay, it's really tight if you want to stay outside of the Bravo. Is that what you said? They want at all times you got to stay outside the Bravo?
Most of the time, yes, they ask you to stay outside Bravo.
Okay. Um, obviously you need permission or whatever. And then so below that we're gonna be so at all times we're in this is kind of different because we're in this, special use airspace. So we're at all times we're in this special use airspace and you'd have to look up again, let's say this is just you have to know the specifics of the special use airspace. So in this prohibited area, the flight restriction zone, right? You were just talking about, the requirements for that. It's got probably very special requirements that are not the same anywhere else in the country. But other restricted zones are going to have times of operation. Other specialty services are going to have times of operation. They may have altitude ranges and things like that. that you would want to look into if you're in an airport that operates near one. So we're technically, so I guess I'm kind of, so I don't think we would be class Echo. I would need to look up information on this restricted airspace. Because I think outside of the class Bravo, you're technically not considered in class Echo. You would be in this special use airspace. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, yes. How
yeah,
about the one up north, Montgomery County, northwest?
northwest, right here.
Yep. Right.
Yeah,
No, you just missed it.
this
Yep.
one. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this one here, we have class Bravo at 3,500. So it starts at 3,500 here above Montgomery County, and we're outside of this special use airspace. So that's good. So it would be class Echo starting at 1,200 feet, or let me see here, actually. Wow, yeah, this is a crazy airspace. So actually, no, it's class. If you look, if we zoom out, this shaded magenta looks like it shows all this entire area is enclosed. So everything in here is class Echo to 700 feet. It looks like. Is that right? Is that what that's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's completely enclosed. So that would mean everything in here, class Echo starts at 700 feet. Unless,
I believe so, yes.
yeah. So you'd have class Golf below 700 feet, class G, and then class Echo at 700 up to the 3,500 where class Bravo starts.
So is the class Golf and class Echo, is that AGL or is that MSL? It's AGL, right?
Sorry, say that again.
AGL or MSL for class Golf and Echo?
AGL. Yeah, so it's class Echo starts at 700 AGL. So
do you have to convert then?
yeah, so Montgomery right here says 539. So the elevation is 539 elevation. So 700 feet above that would be 1,239. MSL is where the class Echo would start, 1,239 MSL. And then at 3,500 MSL, the class Bravo would start.
The pattern attitude, I believe, is 1,400 in Gaithersburg.
What's that?
The pattern is 1,400 in Gaithersburg, so that would have to be in Echo.
The pattern at Montgomery is 1,400 feet. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so. I have to check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, patterns are usually they default to 1,000 feet above ground. But sometimes they're different depending on the terrain around you and things like that. So maybe because of this mountain, well, I don't know. Could be higher. And then this thing, this blue notchy thing, I think this is just a special kind of area. I don't know of another example. I think I've seen another example here, but it has all these notes, right? ATC communication required, all altitude prior to entry. Like this is a
So
special.
this is, yes, this is, you call the number in DC and you have to, that's inside SFRA. So you have to ask for permission to enter this area. So usually we would go outside to are training outside this zone, but then you have to request the entry and pretty much wait until they tell you they give you a green light. So
Okay.
you have to squawk the specific number, like the number they tell you inside this area.
Gotcha. Yeah, so special flight rules area. And then, yeah, so it's just a special case. So don't get too caught up if you don't fly here, but I understand why you're talking about it because you are flying here. So, but they're not on any test unless you fly here, then they'll ask about it on your check ride. But the FAA written's not going to ask about Washington, D.C. stuff. But that's cool. That was cool. Thanks for the information.
Sure. But on a check ride, they would probably go over it.
Yes, on the check ride, definitely. They're gonna talk about your local area for sure, 100%. Did anyone see on the news? There was just someone who landed on the beach here in San Diego. How much trouble are we in, even in emergency? Again, it's you just have to follow all regulations. And so in an emergency, like I said, you are able to meet that emergency to keep yourself and the aircraft safe, but you also have to meet the federal aviation regulations that ensure that you can land safely without hitting any people, property, cars, buildings, things like that. So, I think if you were to do it on a road and you were to cause an accident, I think you would, I don't know the details on that, but I think you would probably be held liable. And that's why pilots get insurance for those situations. Nina says, wait, so he can't go above 3,500? Well, in this area here, he can if he gets clearance for the class Bravo, but I don't know inside of this SFRA if they don't let any general aviation inside of that class Bravo, or if his flight school is just telling him not to go inside that class Bravo. Um, as a student pilot, you have to, it's not really advised to go in class Bravo. You can if you're flying solo, if you have an additional endorsement from your instructor. Um, but yeah, that's because the class Bravo starts there. So they probably just want to steer clear of it because of everything that's going on.
So that's ATC usually says that you have to stay on radio with them in this area, and they always advise you to stay outside Bravo.
Okay.
Where would you practice? And do you have to stay on radio with them? Or do you switch over to a CTAF?
So
Yeah, I'll let
our
you answer.
airport is uncontrolled. So usually when you're doing the pattern, you just on a local, but then you switch to ATC until you in this zone, and then usually we would just fly out and practice Fox 1200, and just then you don't have to stay with them on the radio, and you can do pretty much whenever you want. It's like you see the Clearview Airport up north, so that's usually the area where we would practice, like in that area.
Interesting. It still looks like you're in a Bravo there, no?
No,
I guess that's
these blues, which are slightly different blues, but to confuse you, these are Tango routes. So these are like high altitude IFR traffic commercial routes. So the class Bravo looks like it ends here. I believe. But yeah, lots going on here. Stresses me out just looking at it. Okay. Let's do that triangle. Good old airspace triangle. I remember someone said they wanted to do that. Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to pull up a whiteboard. Give me one moment. All right, looks like we got some shapes we can draw with the whiteboard. Let's see here. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. See if I can make this relatively easy for us. Just make this real quick. Let's see here. All right, that's good enough. Okie dokie. So, let me get this pen here. Size. All right. Okay, so we got this triangle here. What is at the bottom section here of the triangle? What airspace? Oops. You know what? I think I'm just gonna write it. Yeah, so down here, what is the airspace? All right, you guys are saying Bravo. Okay, so yeah, we got Bravo here. And then what is the VFR weather minimums for class Bravo? We got Psalm says 3 COC, so 3 statute mile clear of clouds. Do we agree? So one thing, so I'm kind of building this how I would do it. So in my head, right? When you sit down for the written test, draw a big triangle, and then draw a smaller triangle, and then divide it into 4 smaller triangles. Like that, kind of get the shape down first. And then what I like to do is I like to just make some lines. So 2 lines here. And then this one is going to be our 10,000. Oops. So 10. Oh gosh. Let me try and do text. Can you guys see that? Is that big enough?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here. 24. All right. So that's 10,000 feet. And then this line down here is 1,200 feet AGL. So that's what I start first. I start with the triangles, and then I go with these two lines that kind of divide it a little bit more by altitude. All right, then we have, so let me get rid of the, that's fine. So then I just start to fill it out. I always like to start with the bottom. Gosh, dang it. Why is this? Sorry, I'm trying to make this work. All right, so we do class Bravo, and then I say, okay, class Bravo is the easy one. It's 3 COC. All right, then I like to go with the other easy ones. So I like to go with this middle one here. So what is this middle one? Gosh, darn it. What airspace is here in the middle? Yeah, so C, D, and E. And then what do they all share under 10,000 feet MSL? Yeah, they're 152. So 3 statute miles visibility, 1,000 feet above, 500 feet below, 2,000 feet horizontal distance from clouds. Good. Can I like grab this? No. All right, whatever. All right, then I like to do the top. Top is 10,000 feet above. There's 2 airspace. You guys are saying E and G. And then what are the VFR weather minimums for that? They share 5, 111. So 5 statute miles, 1,000 feet above, 1,000 feet below, and 1 statute mile horizontal. All right, so that's where I kind of start. And so what I'm trying, when I tried to like memorize this, right? First, just draw the shape. All right. Let's say I forget to do the class Bravo. All right, try again, try again. Okay, I got the shape down. Now that I got the shape down, add these altitudes. Add the 10,000 foot line and the 1200 AGL line. Okay, got those down. Then add to your memorization. Then add class Bravo 30C. Okay, class Bravo 30C. Then draw that a few times. Then add this middle one, CDE 3152, CDE 3152, and just keep drawing and drawing and drawing this until you get it down. And then above EG 5111. Okay, now it gets a little bit harder. But we can go. What I like to do is I say, okay, well, this one over here is day. And then this one over here is night. And then these are both class G. So G day and G night. Okay, so for G day, what above 1,200 feet? So there's above 1,200 feet and then there's below 1,200 feet. What is it above 1,200 feet? Hassam says 152, K1. Yep. So it's 1 statute mile and then our 152. And what is it below 1,200 feet? One COC. Good. All right. And then now I switch to G at night. G at night above 1,200 feet is, I kind of like to remember that it's the same as these guys right here. You know, you could even, if you wanted to, you could even like erase this line, right? I've had people do that where you erase the line dividing G night and the C, D, and E because they share the same, right? They're 152. And then we have one more kind of line we got to draw. kind of divide the G night under 1200 feet AGL. And then we have on this side, half nautical mile to airport. And then, so when you're, sorry, you can't see that, but when you're half nautical mile to an airport, what is it in class G at night? You guys are saying one COC? Yep, it's one COC. And then finally, when you're not half nautical mile to an airport and you're under 1200 feet at night in class Gulf, it is 3,152. And then I mentioned, right, you could get rid of, like, you could get rid of this line here and just keep these lines down here. And these are all 3,152, right? You got 3,152, 3,152, 3,152. So you could, if you wanted to, after you kind of drew these triangles, just kind of erase this line here because they're all connected. And that kind of helps you memorize that. Oh, hey, it's all 3,152, and then only half nautical mile to airport, and it's the same as day under 1,200 feet are one COC. Kind of just, helps link things together. At least in my mind, it did. Anybody else find any helpful ways to draw this or tips or tricks that help them?
I have a different method. I have the 3-1-3 method, but it's completely different from this.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of people using that as well. Whatever works for you. Do you want to draw that for us? Is that for people that,
Yeah, I can. Do I have permission to draw on this?
yeah. Let me try and clear it. Clear page.
So on this one, you kind of just have to remember that class B is 3-0, or sorry, B is clear of clouds. But other than that, pretty much you draw it out yourself. So you start out with like a C.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Then you draw like the bottom half of the G. And then you go 3, 1, 3. And then, sorry, I don't like public speaking a little, but it's then you just go 152. This is awful. So this is all below 10,000 MSL. So you kind of get a line here. All right. So then when you're in, this is C, class C. So C and D are pretty much the same. So you put a D down here. And then this is going to be your bottom half of G. So anything above it, sorry, it's kind of hard to explain. There's a video on it.
This one never clicked for me. But I know that other people have used it and it's clicked for them. So
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Like, I just drew it out a bunch of times and started making sense. It's just hard to explain on the spot.
yeah, sorry. If you want to post a video in the group for other people, I think that would be the triangle doesn't help UK. Does
No,
any
I just
does
wrote it
any
all out like 40 times earlier today. But
does
this is interesting. The plus sign that you just created, the horizontal, would that be like your 1200?
Yeah, so that's going to be the 1200s below.
Okay. And then the vertical was that for like day and night?
Yeah, so this is going to be once we get there. It's so this line goes across. So anything right here. So now you're going in above 10,000. So this is going to be the E and G. So this is all going to be up here is going to be 5, 1, 1. So now this whole top section is above 10,000. But then here you go day, and then here night, and then you fill at the bottom. So it's
what's this called again? This method?
the 313 method. So you just start out with a C and then the bottom half of the G, and you go 313. And then you just got to remember it's 152, 152, 152. And then there's a 3 down here, and it's 152 also. Sorry if it's confusing. It's hard to try to draw all this. Here, see if it.
Trying to look for just a picture of it.
I can post a picture real quick.
I think my problem was like I don't see a 3-1 or 3 when I look at it.
Yeah, so it's basically where you start out. So you start out with that C and then the bottom half of the G. So now this is all below 10,000. So you go 3, 1, 3, and it's all 152 across. And then it's 152 below.
Oh, that's the 313.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you
I
just
see.
below
Okay.
and then from there it pretty much repeats itself. And then you just gotta go above the top half of the E is above 10,000. So the E and the G above 10,000 is 511.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
And then you just do your day and night in this little box right here. Because that's class G.
Gotcha. Thank you. But yeah, any of these things that have worked for you, please post them in the group for folks. I did find a picture. But yeah, because some mnemonics work for some people and some work for others. So the more we post in the group, like the better, you know what I mean? Here's the I did find this picture here. If it helps anybody. Can you guys see that? Is this what you were drawing?
Close.
Close. Okay.
So I can show it on my camera. Probably won't take off blur.
Anywho,
Probably backwards.
just it goes to show there's lots of different ways. There's this table too. I've known people who just memorize this table.
I'll post that in the group real quick.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Screen sharing is paused. Screen two. All right. Any last questions?
Here, I just posted the link to the chat if you could pull it up because it starts at like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. kind of describes it. It'd be better than me talking about it.
Okay, just to clarify, I think Sam asked this question, but I just want to double check. So until Friday, we're just working on everything up to the class golf assignment, right?
Yeah, so everything, this is the last homework assigned here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And if you want to work on the next homework too, but yeah, let's try and get everybody caught up to this point here.
Sorry,
And
and maybe you said this. Does that mean on Friday we're going to start on forces of flight?
no, we you can see the screen, right?
Oh, yes. Take a
So yeah,
screenshot.
we're still gonna do this Friday the same as we would. We're gonna do another Q&A and then assign new homework. And then we'll start on Monday. We'll do the forces of flight. And then here's what time did you say it started, Nick?
2 minutes and like 30 seconds.
Okay, nice. And you posted this in the Facebook group or just the chat?
Just the chat. I haven't done that yet.
Okay, I'll post it in the Facebook group.
I already did.
Oh, you did? Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so he draws the class C and then the lower half of the class G. This is all below 10,000. Then he goes 3, 1, 3.
What was that?
That was the text message on my computer.
Oh. Your pie is done. Just kidding.
So now he's drawing the upper half of E and G above 10,000. And then you just got to remember B is 3 clear clouds.
So B doesn't really fit in here. It's kind of outside of it all.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm just kind of looking through the chat. There was a question on, do you put the echo ceiling at the apex of the triangle or am I confused? You can. You don't need to, but you can put class C at the top there. But it's not necessary because class A is above class echo, and there's no VFR minimums in class alpha because VFR, there is no VFR in class alpha. It's only IFR ratings can fly in class alpha. Does anyone have a mnemonic for the colors and airspace business? So like the colors of the airspaces on the charts.
Yes, I can do it, but then when I look at all those lines, my brain kind of freezes up sometimes. I just wonder if there was anything easy. I'm gonna make something if there's not.
Yeah, that's I've never heard of one, but that could be a good idea. Okay, well, any other last minute questions? Still on for Friday? We're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna do those light map things. We're gonna give away 3 of those on Friday. So I'll think of something fun that we can do to give those away. Um something that we haven't done, or maybe we'll just do the spinning wheel. I don't know. That was kind of fun. But yeah. All right, everybody. If there's no questions, then yep, of course. Yeah, Yeah, I'm sorry you can't come on Friday as well. It's Teresa, right? The IT Teresa.
No, it's Sherry. But
Sherry.
I've always wanted to be Teresa. I
Sorry.
I can just be Teresa. That seems fun.
Did I
I'll
say
be-
that earlier?
It's fine. You called me Sherry earlier. It's an
Oh,
alter
okay.
ego. It's fine.
No, it's not. It's not
It
fine.
is totally fine.
Your name is Sherry. It's just like I see IT and I'm like, what? Yeah, so
I
sorry.
think I should go by IT. You got to work out perfect.
Sorry, Sherry. Yeah.
It's all right.
All right, everybody. Well,
Bye.
have a good night.